Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Pensacola. I am Penny Featherstone. My pronouns are she, her, and hers, and welcome everyone. As we come together this morning, I want to welcome each of you. If you are here for the first time or the 50th time, you are welcome here. If you believe in many gods, no gods, or are open to the mystery, you are welcome here. If you are gay, straight, bisexual, transgender, non-binary, or done with labels altogether, you are welcome here. If you are covered in tattoos or are a blank canvas, you are welcome here. If you shout amen after each song or sentence, or if you prefer to sneak in late and blend into the back, you are welcome here. If you come here sober, addicted, or somewhere in between, you are welcome here. If you are deep in grief, or if you are celebrating from the bottom of your feet to the top of your head, you are welcome here. Your whole self, all that you were, all that you are, all that you long to be, is welcome here. And you are just where you should be, in a room full of compassionate, thoughtful, justice-seeking, radically welcoming Unitarian Universalists ready to meet you where you are. Welcome home. Announcements. I have an announcement from the social justice team. They are leading a blanket and coat drive for youth from age 14 to 22 who are served by the Street Outreach Program of Children's Home Society. Please consider donating a new blanket or a newer yet gently used coat, jacket, or sweatshirt, which can be dropped in the marked basket in the front of the foyer. And this is going on through Sunday, January 9th. Socks and hygiene items are also welcome. More info will be in the Thursday email and in the newsletter. Michael Newcomb has been doing this for years, reading to us the Advent candles. Would you come up, Michael?
Third week Advent. Joy waits for us at Advent. Joy waits for us to sing. Joy waits for our amazement at the grace in everything in this time of preparation.
Thank you, Michael. And Lauren Wood and her family, would you come up and light the, there's a microphone here, and you can light the wreath, Advent wreath. Thank you.
Today we offer the light of joy to illumine the door of welcome. May this light shine in our hearts, in our lives, and in our church. May joy awaken us to possibilities and lead us to greater hospitality. There is room in this place for stranger and friend.
Sure. I'm Laura Wood, and this is Victor Wood. I'll trade you. That works. My name is Laura Wood, and this is my son, Victor Wood, my daughter.
of fire, spark of the universe that warmed our ancestral hearth, agent of life and death, symbol of truth and freedom, we strive to understand ourselves and our earthly home. Leslie Pohl Casbah. I forgot to mention that Kate was inspired to do this service, so Kate Wolverton is our service leader as well, and uses the pronouns she and her. We are doing a call and response for our opening words, number 440 in your hymnal. The people on the Earth Mother Village on my left, your right, will be reading along with me, and the people in the Sunnyside Village will read the italicized along with Kate. From the fragmented world, Church of Wholeness. Thank you. I got lost.
By many errors and preoccupations, by diverse and selfish means, are we separated from one another and divided within ourselves.
Yet we know that no branch is utterly severed from the tree of life that sustains us all.
We cherish our oneness with those around us and the countless generations that have gone before us.
We would hold fast to all of good we inherit, even as we would leave behind us the outworn and false.
We would escape from bondage to the ideas of our own day and from the illusions of our own man.
Let us labor in hope for the dawning of a new day without hatred, violence, and injustice.
Let us nurture the growth in our own lives of the love that has shone in the lives of the races of men and women, the rays of those lamps still illuminate our life.
In this spirit we gather, in this spirit we pray.
Today our service is focused all around the story Mira and the Big Story by Laura Alary and illustrated by Sue Todd. And for me, the illustrations are just as important as the words, so we have all the pictures while we're telling the story. You can see them. There was once a green village that lay between two mountains, and through the valley flowed a river. On each bank of the river stood a village. As long as anyone could remember, the people of the two villages had been enemies. Strange as it seemed, it all began with a couple of stories. In both villages, the people loved to tell stories. They told the stories to amuse themselves, to teach their children, and to help them remember important things. Most important at all were the wonderful tales about the beginning. Please stand as you're willing and able, and we're going to be reciting the covenant together. Love is the spirit of this church, and service our law. This is our covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another.
This is the offertory. We show our gratitude by offering our own gifts so that the fire will continue to burn for ourselves and those who come after us. The offering will now gratefully be received, and your joy and sorrows to follow.
We shall be known by the company we keep, by the ones who circle round to tend these fires. We shall be known by the ones who sow and reap the seeds of change to life from deep within the earth. It is time now. It is time now that we thrive. It is time we lead ourselves into the well. It is time now, and what a time to be alive. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. We shall be known by the company we keep, by the ones who circle round to tend these fires. We shall be known by the ones who sow and reap the seeds of change to life from deep within the earth. It is time now. It is time now that we thrive. It is time we lead ourselves into the well. It is time now, and what a time to be alive. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love.
Thank you, Laura and Kate. That was so beautiful. I have a couple of of joys and sorrows here. And I forgot to mention that if you had some, you could put them in the collection basket. So if there are more, let me know. Reverend Alice has been injured while working in her yard. The Levitt family is concerned about Mark's father's health, and this was mentioned last week too. Is it Krista Haynes says this is her first holiday season without her son, and as joyous as he is spreading his wings, and it is a season of sorrow as I miss him. Jason Rockwell, a person very close to me, reached a significant milestone in her life today. She has 5 years of continuous sobriety from mood and mind-altering substances. Oh, we get to continue Mira's big story. One more candle for those joys and sorrows that are in our hearts and not mentioned. In the beginning, said the people of one village, there was no valley at all, just a flat, just a flat rocky plain. When the King of Heaven looked down on earth and saw people wandering homeless, he decided to give them a place to live. So he sent enormous birds to gather the rocks and pile them into mountains. Between the great ridges, the birds scratched and clawed a channel that filled with rainwater and became a river. Finally, one of the birds led the people to their new homeland. And that, declared the villagers of the sunny side, is how our ancestors came to this valley. Now it belongs to us, a gift of the King of Heaven.
In the village across the river, a different story was told. Long ago, said the village folk, the Queen of Earth searched high and low for the perfect people to make their home in the valley. And when she found them at last, she sent great turtles to carry the new settlers up the river on their backs. And that, declared the villagers, is how our ancestors came to the valley. Now it belongs to us, a gift from the Queen of Earth. Day after day, year after year, the people of each village told and sang their own stories until they could no longer imagine the beginning of life in the valley any other way. On opposite sides of the river, when the villagers looked across and saw others celebrating the different stories of the beginning, they became angry.
That is not how the story goes.
This is our valley. It was a gift to us.
We belong here.
There is no room for the others.
In a little yellow house in one of the villages lived a girl named Mira. Like all the children in her village, Mira had grown up hearing stories about the beginning. She knew them by heart. She knew the valley belonged to her people. She knew the others were enemies. She knew they did not belong. But she was curious. On fine afternoons, Mira would often climb a tree close to the river and watch the people in the other village. Once or twice, when she was feeling especially bold, she even walked far down the bank to a place where the river was narrow and shallow and waded across. On the other side, everything was strangely familiar. The trees, the wildflowers, the songs of the birds and insects, the smell of the wind. It was so much like home. Mira looked across the water toward her own village. It felt strange to see it the way the others did.
On one of these secret villages, Mira was getting ready to cross back over the river when she fell, and she cut her foot on a rock. She had scarcely sat down when she heard a rustle in the leaves, and a small boy scrambled down from a tree where he had been hiding.
Are you hurt? How can I help you?
Mira was too surprised to answer. The boy came closer and held out his hand.
Here, take my arm. Lean against it as we leave across the river.
Who are you? Where did you come from?
What do you think? Do you suppose you're the only one who is curious about the folk on the other side of the river? I watch you the same way you watch us. But you were the first to come across over. That was great. I must go now. I hope we meet again.
And he went away.
Mira felt jumbled up inside. For the rest of the day, she wondered about the boy. He seemed like an odd piece in a jigsaw puzzle. He was the wrong shape, and she could not make him fit. The others were not supposed to be kind. The others were not supposed to be curious. The others were not supposed to be like her. Could the stories be wrong? There was only one person whom Mira could bring such a big question. Old Alfred lived near the river, in a stone cottage filled with books. When he was not reading, he was out working in his garden, growing vegetables and herbs, from which he made soups, teas, and medicines for the people of the village. Children were welcome to come and pick his raspberries. Old Alfred always offered them homemade cookies and a glass of lavender lemonade. He was wise and kind, and his mind and heart were as open as his front door.
That very evening, Mira went to see old Alfred. She found him enjoying a pot of tea in the garden. He welcomed her warmly, offered her a cup of tea, and when Mira was settled with tea and cookies, she took a deep breath.
Old Alfred, I need your help. I have a big question, and there is no one else I can ask.
Big question, you said. I like big questions. It's been a long time since someone asked me a good one. Tell me about yours.
Mira told old Alfred everything about her secret trips to the other side of the river, about the boy she had met, and how he was like a puzzle piece that did not fit. Old Alfred listened carefully, and then he said,
So, what is your big question?
Were the stories wrong?
For a moment, old Alfred stared silently up into the night sky.
Mira, let me tell you something about stories. Stories can make you bigger. Not on the outside, of course, but on the inside. They can stretch your mind and your heart. But a story can make you smaller if it takes up all the space in your mind and heart. When new people or new ideas come along, there's no room for them. Whenever you hear a story, you must ask yourself, what is this story doing to me? Is it making me bigger, or is it making me smaller? Our village is dear to me, Mira, but our mind and hearts need to be stretched so that we can make room for others. There will never be peace in this valley until the people in both villages find a story big enough for all of them.
Mira felt even more mixed up than before.
I don't understand. What kind of story could be big enough for everybody?
I have a story to tell, if you would care to hear it.
I would.
We are moving.
In the beginning, there was nothing, yet there was everything. Do you ever collect chestnuts in the fall, Mira? Now imagine holding a chestnut in the palm of your hand. And now, imagine something even smaller than that little nut, containing everything that exists. It was there, but it was not there. The way a bright sunflower is and is not inside a striped seed. The way a song is and is not inside the wooden shell of a violin. And then, there was light. Not ordinary light like the light of the stars or candles or a winter bonfire, no. This was pure energy. Out of it came unimaginably small bits of matter. The first stuff. Some matter came together and formed stars. And over ages and ages, the stars burned, vast furnaces forging new things deep in their hearts. And when the time came for them to die, the stars exploded. And all the stuff inside of them scattered in distance. And it drifted like dandelion seeds on the wind, ready to start something new. And from that stardust came everything. Clouds and comets and whales and wildebeests, rattlesnakes and redwood trees, emus and elephants, dinosaurs and dragonflies, pussy willows and plesiosauruses, seahorses and stars. And from that stardust came galaxies and solar systems and a little blue planet called Earth. And from that stardust came the mountains and the valley and the river and 2 villages. And from that stardust came an old man and his garden and a little girl named Mira and a boy who was still a stranger. We all come from the same place, and we are all made of the same stuff. We are neighbors on this little planet of ours, sailing through the cosmos.
Mira felt like her mind and heart were so full they could burst.
If this story is true, then no one owns the valley and we all belong here. If this story is true, the people across the river are not others. They are like us. If this story is true, we are all connected to each other and to everything else. The river, the trees, the sky, the ocean, the animals. If this story is true, we have wasted too much time being enemies.
Mira, tell me, what is in your heart?
What about our stories? What about the birds who led us to the valley? What about the King of Heaven? What about our gift?
Dear child, you asked me a big question, and now I will ask you some. Who dreamed everything when there was nothing? Whose hand held that little chestnut? Who first lit the stars? Who opened the heart of that little boy to be kind to his enemy? Who opened your mind to see him as someone like you? Who made you so wonderfully curious? Mira, you have not lost your gift, or the one who gave it. Both are just as greater than you have ever dreamed. So, my dear, what do you think of this story? What does it do to you?
Mira pictured the face of the boy across the river. She wanted to find him again and learn his name. Maybe they would become friends. Maybe other children would cross the river. Maybe some grown-ups would come too. Mira felt bigger inside.
I like your story. I think it is big enough for everyone.
Well, perhaps you can share the story with someone else.
I will. I already know where to start.
I thought you might. Now, get yourself home to bed.
But old Alfred, I already am home.
Then Mira headed out into the starry night.
Please join us in singing our hymn, Common Ground, by Jim Scott. The words will be up there. And We invite you to join together, circle up in a way that we're joining our villages and realizing Alfred's story.
So if you care to, I don't know, not take hands, but join one another and still be able to read, do so.
We gotta join villages.
The womb of stars embraces us, remnants of their fiery furnaces pulse through our veins.
We are of the stars, the dust of the explosions cast across space.
We are of the earth. We breathe and live in the breath of ancient plants and beasts.
Their cells nourish the soil. We build our communities on their harvest of gifts.
Our fingers trace the curves carved in clay and stone by forebears unknown to us.
We are a part of the great circle of humanity gathered around the fire and the hearth, the altar.
We gather anew this day to celebrate our common heritage. May we recall in gratitude all that has given us birth.
Go